I'm just so excited. Oh. I remember my first time robbing a bank. GTA 4, the Bank of Liberty. The cash takeaway wasn't great, but the combination of ski mask and suit struck a chord that I would never forget. I had to rob more banks. It's not weird, right? The chance came 3 years later with the release of Payday, the Heist. I admit I hadn't considered the life of crime in a while, having moved on to other things, but when Payday hit Steam, I couldn't have been more excited. So, with Payday 2 right around the corner, I jumped back into the original, ready to steal some cash and see if all that excitement I had 2 years ago was worth it. Payday the Heist is a cooperative bank heist simulator that places players in the shoes of one of 4 ambitious criminals. The game takes place across 7 heists, with another 2 heists being added in the form of the Wolfpack DLC. Each heist is essentially the action portion from every bank heist movie ever made. DC's finest stream in by the hundreds, polluting doorways and calling to each other in robotic voices that exude a professional calm of someone who thinks they have a chance. Players frantically run about, trying to accomplish the preset objectives, fixing this drill or that drill, and hoping that the flood of cops eventually taps out, and might allow for a small break. It never does, and it makes the gameplay feel all the more frantic for it. The trick is to simply survive long enough to get the goods out. Provided that happens, it's time to do it again on a higher difficulty, with more angry police and a higher chance of something going horribly wrong. It only takes a few heists to get in the swing of things. Cops, unlike Left 4 Dead's similar in number hordes of zombies, attack from all directions, using helicopters and assault weapons to batter you down from range. Each heist in the game provides an entirely different type of gameplay as well. Players on First World Bank will find its many hallways and desks useful for cover and bottlenecking enemies, while those on Heat Street have to resort to a run-and-gun style of play that relies heavily on moving from point to point. The trick is to learn what to do and when to do it, which can take quite a bit more time than one might think to master. The game quickly drives these lessons home, though, with any failure costing the group 20 to 30 minutes of time, and losing rewards is a quick educator. Payday, in its less action-packed lobbies, is heavily reliant on its upgrade and class system. The game features 3 classes, with a 4th being added with the Wolfpack DLC: Assault, Sharpshooter, Support, and Technician. Players select which class they would like to earn points for, and then experience gain during and at the end of a successful heist is added to that tree. Each tree has a long list of unlocks, which include weapons, weapon attachments, support items such as ammo and health bags, and passive increases to various stats. As with many games that rely on levels for unlocks, this is where the trouble starts. Players can play alone with the AI, much in the same sense that someone could stab themselves in the eye with a needle. The AI is incapable of anything except shooting infinitely and occasionally spewing a one-liner for that character, which makes the more objective-based maps hell to do alone. This means that joining an online game is almost a necessity. The problem is, many of the online games don't exactly enjoy the company of lower-ranked characters, since they bring nothing to the table. No ammo bags, no health bags, no guns, you don't have the level to do it yet. You have been kicked from the server. The number of times I saw this, even when joining a heist on normal difficulty as a level 109, absolutely baffled me. The idea behind any leveling system is that as you level up, you'll unlock slightly more useful items and also gain experience in terms of gameplay to keep each level feeling fresh and exciting. I found, however, that running the heist repeatedly was a more dull affair than an enjoyable one. Having seen all the action, there wasn't much room for variation in playstyle, as the heists, excluding Diamond Heist, do not leave much room for any especially different playstyles, instead opting for gunning down the boys in blue until preset objectives are completed. I guess at least the donut shop across the street will be able to feel its future sales dropping exponentially no matter what. Throw in the fact that the hostage AI seem to think themselves capable of dodging bullets like Neo from the Matrix during a huge firefight, and you have a recipe for some pretty darn frustrating moments. The shooting feels pretty good, though. Weapon feedback is nice, and popping helmets off FBI and SWAT units is satisfying as all hell. It also plays out a little differently each time, with the more grounded objectives sometimes appearing in different locations, or a passcode that worked before won't work this time around. It's rarely something that's overtly noticeable in the heat of battle, but any touch of variety is good. Drawing influence from Left 4 Dead was good for Payday the Heist. In comparison, Payday lacks the huge span of variation that is allowed by Left 4 Dead's amazing polish and great AI director, but it still manages to be different enough and compelling in its own way. Playing with friends is a great time, and at its current price point, it's hard to say no to the hours of fun that can be had in its money-loving heists. Payday the Heist from Overkill Software gets a 7 out of 10, and is available on Steam for $19.99 or your regional equivalent. Until next time, cheers, and stay awesome.